Tonight, police launch manhunt for 4 persons they claim are suspected members of pro-NDC vigilante group The Hawks, accused of indiscriminate shooting at NDC party HQ in Kumasi, leaving 1 person dead and another in critical condition.
The Hawks were here with their motorbikes in front of this container. There are some of the task force boys who pass by and go to the mosque here. So when they coming back, I hear him saying that you are in Hausa language. Why you are saying we are all brothers? So that's where I see the other guy remove a gun and shot his leg instantly. Yes, when he shot him in the leg, then the guy was trying to run and come to us, and he came directly, very close range, and shot his chest.
Meanwhile, the NDC is fighting off claims that the individuals accused of shooting and killing 1 person are members of the NDC, pro-NDC vigilante group, The Hawks.
I am rather scandalized that an eyewitness has confirmed that these are members of the Hawks. Were they wearing a t-shirt that suggests they are members of the Hawks? Or he or she can identify them categorically that these are members of the Hawks? I think we should not be in a hurry to put in the public domain an information that we cannot verify.
We are live in the Ashanti regional capital. We'll hear from the police eyewitnesses, our reporters who are chasing this story, and we'll also speak to the NDC national executives.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond. Your success, our passion, is also brought to you by Gas and Cement, the nation builder. Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready. Also brought to you by Nationwide Health Insurance. In the last 3 hours, we've learned of a deadly shooting incident on the premises of the NDC Ashanti Regional Office, where 1 person is dead, another in critical condition at the Konfanotu Teaching Hospital. The police have issued a statement. We'll bring you details of that statement right now when I'm joined by the police with the details that we are getting also. But we are hearing of eyewitness accounts also, people who were there when the incident really transpired. My colleague Erastus Asari Donko was there shortly after the incident and gave this report while speaking to an eyewitness.
There was some disturbances here at the regional party office. On the floor here, covered with sand. That is the blood of somebody who was just shot this afternoon. And what we are gathering is that there was a regional executive meeting this afternoon in that office. And then out here to my right, we had members of a group called The Hawks, and they came, pitched camp right here. And then we had members of the NDC task force also came and pitched camp on the other end. I have an eyewitness here who I would like to go through what happened here. You were here. What did you see?
So all of us were sitting here, but the Hawks were here with their motorbikes in front of this container. Okay. They were here. We don't know what brought them inside because officially they are not affiliated with the party.
And then what happened?
So, and what happened is that there are some of the task force boys who pass by and go to the mosque here. So when they coming back, I hear him saying that, what you are in Hausa language. Why you are saying we are all brothers? Why do you want to create this kind of thing? Why once there's nothing between us? So from there, I don't know what the other guy said. He turned his back to talk to them as a brothers. So through where he's getting to them, closer to them, about some 3 feet. So that's where I see the other guy remove a gun and shot his leg instantly. So he rushed to hold his hand so that he will not shot again. Where you realize
so
that
after if I get you correctly, after he shot him in the leg, he came back to shoot him again.
Yes, when he shot him in the leg, then the guy was trying to run and come to us, and he came directly, very close range, and shot his chest. So that is where we all realized
that he shot him in the chest.
Yes, and we realized that he would kill them. So we want to rush to him. That was where he faced the gun to us, all of us. So that time we have to run for our life.
This guy shot him in the thigh.
Yes.
As he was trying to run towards the party office, he shot him in the back again.
Yes,
and then came closer to shoot him again.
In the chest.
So 3 times.
3 times, that was why. But some people say it's more than that. Those who were.
But you saw 3 times.
We saw 3 times.
So 2 people have been shot.
2 people have been shot. But we realized that don't confirm one was dead.
Well, you had my colleague Erastus Asari Donko interacting with an eyewitness moments after the incident occurred earlier today and alluding to the fact that the men wielding the gun are members of the Hawks of the NDC, but the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC, Kwame Zu, who himself was part of that meeting at which we also had the national chairman of the party, Samofuso Ampofo, and John Cecil Nketia. All of these senior members of the party escaped the scene unhurt because they were on the premises having this meeting when this happened. The Ashanti Regional Secretary, Kwame Zu, refused to claim that these individuals accused of shooting and killing one person are members of the pro-NDC vigilante group, the Hawks.
I regret to confirm that indeed one of our party members, who happens to often frequent the party headquarters in the region, has passed on at the Konfano Teaching Hospital.
What about the other? Because we understand 2 people suffered the gunshot wound. What about the other victim?
He is in a critical condition at the same hospital. The national chairman, the general secretary, deputy general secretary, and the entire regional executive committee has visited him at the Konfano Teaching Hospital, and he is stable, and we trust that he will come out very well.
As far as the incident is concerned, you talk about individuals on motorbikes shooting and speeding off after they shot. We've spoken to an eyewitness at the party headquarters who claimed to identify these men on motorbike as members of the Hawk team. What do you know about that?
Well, the reality is that as a party and as executives, as at the time of the incident, we're having a country meeting within the officers. And the information we have gathered from the police so far and our own investigations, these men are yet to be identified. But I think it's quite too early for anybody to conclude that the men in question are members of the Hawks. What we do know is that they are unidentified, and we have requested of the Ghana Police Service to expedite investigations so as to bring the perpetrators of these heinous crimes to book. But I am rather scandalized that an eyewitness has confirmed that these are members of the Hawks. Were they wearing a T-shirt that suggests they are members of the Hawks? Or he or she can identify them categorically that these are members of the Hawks. I think we should not be in a hurry to put in the public domain an information that we cannot verify. But as a party, we are trusting that the police service are competent enough to carry out a thorough investigation and unmask the individuals who are behind the heinous act.
And he also talks to us when we broke that news about the shooting, that the reason why the national executives, including the national chairman, as general secretary, and a deputy general secretary, were in Kumasi in this crunch meeting when the shooting incident happened, was because of reports that they had received about camps developing, rivalry developing amongst the NDC in the Ashanti region, and the officers, the national officers, had travelled to Ashanti region to hold meetings in an attempt to diffuse the tension that appeared to have been brewing within the NDC in the Ashanti region when this incident happened. Well, the police have issued a statement on this. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has a copy of that and joins me in the studio with details. Joseph, the police tell us about an investigation that has been launched.
And they are pursuing 4 people in connection with the violence. So it's a statement signed by ACP David Eklu, the head of public affairs at the Ghana Police Service, and he says the Ashanti Regional Police has launched an investigation into a shooting incident that took place at the regional office of the NDC in Kumasi, leaving 1 person dead and the other seriously injured. Preliminary investigation has said that there was an ongoing meeting of the national executives of the party and its regional executives today, that Monday the 18th of February 2019. The statement goes on to say, whilst the meeting was in progress, gun-wielding men on motorbikes invaded the premises, shooting indiscriminately. Further information gathered at the scene indicated that 4 persons alleged to be members of the Hawks, a pro-NDC vigilante group, were behind the attack. So far, 4 suspects, namely Hussein Barnabas, aka Warrior, Damos, Mijima, and Abu Taliban, are being pursued by the police, the statement says. And it goes on to say, meanwhile, the crime scene has been cordoned off by the regional police to assist investigations, and the police is appealing to the general public to remain calm as it works closely with NDC executives to get the perpetrators arrested. And the police are asking that anyone with information on the suspects should assist the police by volunteering that information that can eventually lead to the arrest of the said persons, and that the police administration is expressing their condolences to the family of the deceased person and is also wishing the injured person a very speedy recovery.
Okay, so Hussein Barnabas, aka Warrior, Damos, Majima, and Abu Taliban are the suspects that the
police say they are pursuing.
And the police say that these individuals are alleged to be members of the Hawks, a pro-NDC vigilante group. This is an official police statement. But also today, the former President John Dramani Mahama has been also reacting to the incident in Ashanti region. Do we know what he's been saying?
So he posted on Facebook about an hour ago, and he writes, "I have just been briefed about a shooting incident that occurred in front of the Ashanti regional office of the NDC, leading to the death of one person and injury to another. I strongly condemn this incident. It's clearly a criminal act, and I call on the police and relevant security agencies to investigate, immediately apprehend the culprits, and subject them to the full rigors of the law."
Joseph, thank you very much. And I've just been joined on a telephone line, thankfully, by the spokesperson for the Ashanti Regional Police, who joins us on the telephone line right now, Godwin Ahiano. Mr. Ahiano, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Also on the line with me is my colleague Nana Senso Mensah, who has been following up on with the hospital where one of the individuals we understand is still in critical condition. Nana, tell me first, before I come to Ms. Ahiano, tell me first what the hospital is telling us now about the condition of the other person who is still on admission.
Yeah, Evans, thank you. Officially, we haven't received any information from the hospital, but our checks from the hospital reveals that the injured person, that is Moro, is in critical condition and he is receiving medical treatment at the Konfanochi Accident and Emergency Center at the moment. Our intelligence tells us that he is yet to undergo surgery, and then he is suffering from internal bleeding, and so they have to resuscitate him and then make sure that he undergoes surgery in a few moments from now, so that they can calm the situation to make sure he stays alive.
Okay, thank you very much. And so we'll connect with you again as we begin to explore what the reaction has been within the NDC in the Ashanti region. Let me bring in right now the Ashanti Regional Police spokesperson, Gordon Ahiano. Mr. Ahiano, so you confirm that one person is dead, another person, as we just said, in critical condition. But should I assume from the statement that you are yet to make an arrest?
We are yet to make an arrest, but so far, as you indicated, one person is injured and responding to treatment, whilst one person died as a result of this indiscriminate shooting that took place at the regional office of the NDC, the Ashanti region.
What sort of cooperation are you getting from the NDC national executives who are, we understand, still in the Ashanti region currently, and were there in a meeting when the shooting happened?
So far, we held a meeting with the regional executives. They were with the regional commander a couple of minutes ago, and they've given us all the necessary assurance that they will help the police in arresting the perpetrators. And the names that were mentioned in the release so far are the people that we are picked their names. Moreover, we have also spoken to a few eyewitnesses who have also mentioned some names, and subsequently we'll be mentioning those names. So we are assuring the public that whoever is behind this act will be arrested with the assurance of the regional executives of the National Democratic Congress.
Just clarify, did you say that the four names you put out, who you say are alleged to be members of the NDC Hawks, these names were provided by the NDC executives?
So far, what I can say is these names were provided by eyewitnesses. That is, those who were at the scene when the shooting took place. Moreover, the executives have also assured us that whatever name that they have, they will also furnish those names or volunteer those names to the police. And our assurance is that other persons are involved and the names will be coming up.
And as far as the crime scene is concerned, we've learnt about you've cordoned off the place. I wonder if, and we saw live on television that the forensic department had been on the scene trying to gather evidence. Have they finished with that, the processing of the crime scene?
At the time we were leaving there, they were still there. So I'm here to find out whether they've come back or they are still there. But the instruction is that that party office must be cordoned off so that the investigations they've launched into the matter will be carried out successfully.
And your statement says, of course, you've launched a manhunt asking the public to assist you apprehend these 4 individuals. However, you have provided very little information about these people to assist the public help you, i.e. their pictures, what they look like, etc.
We've gotten some pictures, and we know by the day tomorrow we'll be getting more pictures provided by eyewitnesses, because they know them, they are all their own party members, and they've given us the assurance that whoever is involved will be mentioned to us. So we are hoping and praying that the assurance given to us by the executives of the party in the region will yield the necessary result.
So again, the party executives have assured you that these are their members and they are willing to hand them over?
That is the name they give to us as the people who perpetrated the act. And from the meeting, it points out that they are members of their own party. I'm
grateful. That is a spokesperson for the Ashanti Regional Police there, speaking to us about the incident that unfolded today. One person is dead, another person in critical condition. I'm delighted to say that we can now speak to Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is the General Secretary of the NDC, joins us on the line right now. Mr. Asiedu Nketia, I'm grateful for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, my brother.
Please accept our condolences, sir, and I hope you are okay.
I'm very okay. Except that I'm a little down because of the incident.
What happened?
Well, we picked some intelligence that some people wanted to create violence during our Saturday elections, and they want to utilize opportunities provided by places where there appears to be some feud between executives at that constituency level or regional level. And everything was pointing to Ashanti region. So in spite of our busy schedule, the national chairman and myself decided that we should go and alert the Ashanti region that the information we are picking, some people are likely to target the region for infiltration during the elections just to create bad press for the party. So we arrived this morning and we went on video to indicate the measures we have taken place to forestall such incidences. And this includes the fact that we are not allowing anybody masquerading as security personnel working in the interest of any candidate. And that we have decided from Accra that everything about the security of the election has been handed over exclusively to the police. And that if anybody approaches any of the polling stations and creates any problem, they should be dealt with according to law. Number two, we also are not very sure whether those infiltrators can use the police itself because of current events. So we indicated that to be on the safer side, we wanted the police to deploy personnel from the district capitals where the elections are taking place so that everybody in the party would know them as policemen. And so we narrated all these things and explained on radio. And after that, we decided to go and meet the regional executives and hold a meeting with them to bring home the point that they should forget about their petty differences and let us concentrate to pull through a very successful and peaceful election. It was in the middle of the meeting that we heard some gunshots outside. And those who know the regional office, we have a very big compound with some summer huts. So every day you will see party fanatics and people hanging around. So now that they have seen their national executives, people will definitely come hang around, sing praises. One or two will be asking for monies and so on from us. So while they were grouped there, we were in the meeting. When we heard the gunshots, then somebody rushed to bang our door and said that there has been some gunshots and some two people had been gunned down. So by the time we appeared from the meeting room, the perpetrators had left, and the eyewitnesses told us that they came on a motorbike, and then after gunning down those people, they escaped back on the motorbike. But the people who had been gunned down are party people, so they had been evacuated and then were on the way to the hospital. So we had to call the police. Regional commander indicated that he should bring in, some police personnel to come and handle the situation. Whilst we also, myself and the national chairman, rushes to the hospital, Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, to see about the injured. Unfortunately, when we reached there, one had been pronounced dead, and the other one is in intensive care. So meanwhile, the police have begun their investigations, and we have indicated that crime has no party colors. As we speak to you, you don't know who must have perpetrated this, but because of the presence of these eyewitnesses, I'm sure it will not be difficult for the police to get people to identify the perpetrators. So they must just pick them.
In fact,
whoever did it should be picked up and dealt with according to law.
Just on that point about eyewitnesses, we were on the scene shortly after. One of the eyewitnesses told us that the people on motorbikes who did this had parked there for a while, and he said categorically these are members of the Hawks, they claim to belong to the NDC. The police in the statement confirmed this eyewitness account. Is the party aware of these individuals being pro-MPP NDC Vigilante Group members?
That will help the police in conducting their investigation. So whoever they are, whether they are vultures or parrots or hawks, crime is crime. They should apprehend the person. Our only problem is that they should be able to identify the perpetrator, because we know the police in some cases will go and arrest innocent people. By the time they are prosecuted and found to be innocent, the actual perpetrators must have escaped. So they should use the leads provided by the eyewitnesses, and I'm sure they'll be able to identify the perpetrator. I am told that it is one person who shot the two people. So it is not about a group of persons or whatever. The person came on a motorbike, shot the persons, and then escaped. So it will not be difficult, I'm sure, for those eyewitnesses to help the police.
The police have put out some names, and we just finished talking to the spokesperson for the Ashanti Regional Police, who say somebody like Hussein Barnabas, who is a.k.a. Warrior, another Abu Taliban, are known members or activists of the NDC in the Ashanti region. Are these people known to you?
No. I would not know anybody in Ashanti region going by these names. It will be difficult, so we need to get people in the region and in the various constituencies to be able to talk about them. You can understand that it will be difficult for me to, from where I sit in Accra, to know people by their names all over the country. But the point we are making, I'm here with the national chairman, and we have stated categorically that crime has no political colors. It should proceed. If there are criminals and they are within our rank, they are as dangerous as criminals from outside. So they should deal with the issue as a crime. They shouldn't be giving it party colors, and we have assured them that they should not listen to anybody who approaches and tries to talk about, the issue being a party issue and therefore must be withdrawn for arbitration and all. We are not in the mood for any such thing at all, because condoning this type of criminality will ultimately destroy this country. So we are not in that mood at all. They should look for those perpetrators and deal with them.
And just a final one on this, and I know, and this is also confirming what the police said about your commitment to assist in whatever way you can to apprehend these individuals. And I'm just curious to know if indeed it's true that these individuals are known to some of the executives in the Ashanti region. Using your position, are you working with your colleagues in the region to indeed fish them out and give as much details to the police as possible for them to be apprehended?
I don't need to work with any regional executive. I'm not a policeman. I'm saying that the police are trained in doing their work. So we are not involved in anything. The only account we know is what we have told you. So the police should not be relying on party executives, either at constituency, regional, or whatever. They should rely on people who have knowledge about the incidents that have happened, whether they happen to be party executives or ordinary citizens. So they shouldn't let it look like this is a party case and that you need the cooperation of General Secretary to apprehend them, or you need the cooperation of regional executives. They shouldn't be looking in that direction at all. If they have eyewitnesses, I'm sure by now many people have spoken on radio and so on. In the heat of the moment, the statements they will be making may give very important leads to how to apprehend the criminals. And those they saw on the scene and the stories they heard, if they follow them, they may be able to get to the bottom of the matter.
Does this in any way affect Saturday's elections?
No.
It's going to go on as planned in Ashanti region and elsewhere?
Go on as planned in Ashanti region and elsewhere.
I know
we are relying exclusively on the police. Unless the police come to tell us that they are not able to provide security for the elections in the region, we are going ahead.
And I know you told us at the beginning that you are fine, although shaking a bit and sad. Your other colleagues who were in a meeting with you, I'm guessing they are also fine tonight.
No, this has nothing to do with the meeting taking place at all. Indeed, we don't know what happened outside, to put it short. And the regional executives and the national executives who were meeting there, nobody had any knowledge of what was happening outside. So I'm told that some people gave false reports that I had been attacked and all that, others indicating that I've been rushed to hospital and so on. We rather rush to the hospital to see about the victims. It's not about any of us. So everybody is safe.
I'm grateful, General Mosquito, for your time here on Top Story. That is Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, indicating that whether or not these individuals are the hawks of the NDC or whoever they are, they will not shield anybody, and that it doesn't have political colors. Whether they are from the ranks of the NDC or not, the police should do its work. And as you hear, the police have already said, and this also corroborates our own reporting from the scene of the crime, eyewitnesses telling us the same, that these individuals were parked there for a while and they were identified as members of the pro-NDC vigilante group, the Hawks. The police have said same. The NDC's General Secretary says whoever they are, political color should not be an issue, it's crime, and that they are willing to cooperate with the police fully and get the police to arrest them as the names have gone out. You're listening to Top Story. News Night starts in 2 minutes.
It's time.